Hi. Today I'll be talking with a kitty called Gracie. Although I usually speak with dogs on the show, one of my clients reached out to me and one of her kitties is really struggling. So I'm going to be chatting with her today. I'm Sarah Ann, holistic dog trainer and animal communicator. Let's get started. Oh, sweet little girl. Gracie is showing me an image of her hiding under the bed. She's feeling really scared. Okay. And she's showing me that she's backtracked a lot, like in a huge way, with all of the progress that she made in feeling safe and comfortable with all of you. She's regressed a lot. Okay. Let's see what else she wants to share. Okay. So, since you were gone for a week on a trip, and now you returned, you've noticed that Gracie, who'd really come out of her shell and blossomed so much, has retreated. And oh, sweet thing, she's showing me how she feels emotionally, and she's just feeling, she's calling it scattered. Her energy is really scattered. She's not grounded in herself. And she's also feeling really, really nervous and afraid. Okay. She just wants to hide all the time. And she's saying it's even a lot for her to come out and eat her food. She's almost kind of stalking as she comes out to eat her food and just watching the environment around her to make sure that no one's moving towards her, that nothing's going to happen. Okay, and she's saying that she doesn't feel safe with anyone approaching her now. And she's living with a sweet dog, Maisie, another kitty, Frank, and then a human mom and dad. And she's saying, I know that doesn't make sense to you, Mom, because you've never done anything to hurt me. But I just panic. If anyone approaches, I just feel so panicked in myself. I don't know what to do, and I just want to run and hide. And I can feel this anxiety just rising up from her stomach into her chest, and she's just overwhelmed with panic. Poor girl. Okay, sweetheart. Can you share why you're feeling like this? Why are you feeling so afraid, like you want to hide all the time? I don't want to get hurt again, she says. And she's pointing to a wound that she has. Um, oh, okay. It feels like she was attacked kind of on her, looks like close to her neck, shoulder area is what she's showing me. Okay. And how did this happen, sweetheart? Frank. Okay. The other kitty in the home. Okay. And they've been getting along so well for a long time. Can you share what happened, Gracie? Okay, she's showing me just really minding her own business. And to her, it felt like out of nowhere that Frank just went after her. Um, it feels like there was food involved, not necessarily like at feeding time, but maybe around treats or something, or some treats were in the vicinity, and he got territorial. Okay, okay. As I'm sharing this, she's showing me a little bit more. Mhm. She's okay, so that she's saying that Frank um kind of puffed up and leapt towards her. And she's showing kind of hunkering down, and she's just been terrified ever since. Oh, honey. Okay. What can we do to help you feel safe again? Okay. Yeah, she's showing you can't even get close to me now. So human mom and dad in the home can't even approach me, and I don't want anything to do with Frank. I'm just wary of everyone right now. It took me back to my original place of being very scared and afraid. Okay. What can we do to help you, Gracie? Okay. So this is what she's showing is if you can please, okay, if you can please just uh, come and sit in the room with me. So if I'm hiding under the bed, come and sit in the bedroom at least 6 feet away from the bed so that I can see you there, and just sit facing away from me, not looking at me, but just talking to me really, really gently and letting me know that you're here, that I can feel safe with you. And she's saying your tone of voice is really important, and the energy that you have is really important. If you're putting a lot of pressure on me to come out and be social, quote unquote, friendly with you, then I won't want to come out because it'll feel like too much. So it's very important that you hold this space for me that is very gentle and loving, and just allowing me to be however I am right now. Okay. So just holding this loving space, letting me know that you still love me, that I'm still part of the family, I'm still accepted, and that I can feel safe with you. And it's very important that Frank is not in the room, so you're probably shutting the door so Frank can't come in the room when you're spending time with Gracie. Okay. So just sitting in the room with her, maybe sitting on the floor and reading a book or working on the laptop for maybe 20 minutes in the beginning at a time. Just spending time. Okay. And then she's showing just tossing her some treats, maybe some bonita flakes, um, not putting them close to you, but throwing them towards her so that she associates it with you being in the room and visiting with her. She's showing like greenies, special treats, bonito flakes, anything like that. And just throwing them um, as gently as you can towards me, she says. I might not eat them while you're there, but it will help me in starting to feel safer and having a positive experience again. Okay. So what I need in order to feel safe is to have Frank in another room, like shut away, um, and for for only me to be in the room with you. It feels like it's okay for your dog Maisie to be in the room, as long as Maisie isn't like coming over to her or anything. As long as Maisie's leaving me alone, she says. Okay. And this feels like it's more when you migrate to her finally feeling safe enough to come into the living room when you're there. But it needs to start with you just spending time with her in the room that she's in without putting any pressure on her to do anything in particular. Just spending time with me, sending me love, loving energy. And she's also saying, Mom, remember the emotional energy clearing that Sarah Ann shared with you. I need you to do that with me, to feel into my emotional, energetic self, feel where that fear and panic and trauma is, because I have trauma now. And she's showing it. Definitely, it feels like in her neck, shoulder area. And I'm seeing on the right side as she looks out from her body, it feels like. Let me just confirm that. Yeah, it feels like it's on the right side. Okay. So if you can clear out my trauma, uh, my fear, my panic, and just work on clearing that out of my emotional, energetic self and bringing in a feeling of confidence and calm and safety when you're spending time with me. So maybe that 20 minutes that you're spending with me, you're just focusing on clearing that energy out. And remember that I don't need to be in front of you. You can imagine me being in front of you, feeling into that energy. Okay. That would be really, really helpful. Really, really helpful. Because that's what helped me before. Just spending time with me without putting any pressure. Okay. And then she's saying, when I finally start feeling safer spending time with you, make sure that you allow me to come to you. Don't come up to me. It just helps me feel safer. Otherwise, it triggers that flight response. Okay. Okay. And she's saying, it's going to take so much courage. Wow. Okay. It's going to take so much courage for me to feel safe enough to expose myself to navigate through the house. When I do finally start feeling safer coming out, it would be really helpful for me if you could please have Frank on a harness and a leash or in a cat carrier, if Frank's okay being in a cat carrier, in the room with me to help with our relationship and help me feel safe being in the same room with Frank. And it's important that Frank can't get to me. Okay. Okay. it feels like it's going to take, it might be months before Gracie starts to feel safer again in her home. But she's just reminding you, do the same things that you did before that Sarah Ann shared with you during the training sessions to help me. It might just take longer. Now I have trauma. She keeps showing the trauma. Yeah. And okay. It's also very important for you to have a talk with Frank and let Frank know it is not okay for you to act like that with Gracie. Okay. And and be very aware of food that is left out when when no one is home to monitor us. Okay, she's showing that she would feel a lot safer right now if she could hang out in your bedroom with the bedroom door closed so that she is in there by herself and Frank can't come in, and you have food and water for her like in your master bath that she has access to, litter box, all of that in there so that she has a safe place to be in the house. Because when no one's home, that's when I feel the most scared. And that's, yeah, when I get really triggered. And then when someone's home, open up the bedroom door so that I can come out. And just please be mindful that it takes a lot of courage for me to come out. So if you notice that I'm starting to come out, if you can, scoop up Frank and either have Frank in a harness on a leash, in a kitty carrier, put Frank in another room, not for forever, but until I start feeling safer around Frank again. And and it's very important that we have our own feeding stations, that we're fed really far apart. Even treats are given really far apart. Okay. And that in the same room, we each have like a cat tree. So we don't have to share one. We each have our own cat tree. In each room that there's a cat tree, we each have our own place to be so that Frank doesn't need to get territorial. And I can feel safe having my own place to retreat to, especially having places higher up with like a cubby hole in it in the cat tree, so that I feel like I can hide. That would help me feel a lot safer. Mm-hmm. Okay, is there anything else, Gracie, that you would like to share right now? Oh, she's so sweet. She's saying, thank you, Mom, for asking Sarah Ann to talk with me to understand how to help me. Because I know it's really confusing for you and it's really, really hard for me because I was loving being part of the family and getting affection and being out with all of you and feeling included, feeling safe to be included. And I know that this is hurting your heart, to see me in so much emotional pain. Okay, sweetheart. But she's saying that's where I need you to start. Feels like it's going to be quite the process. And she's encouraging you. She's saying, you can do this, Mom. You know how to help me. Okay. Thank you, Gracie. What a sweet kitty she is. If you're listening to this and you have a kitty at home that maybe was a stray that you've taken in or a newly adopted kitty in your home, that feels really nervous. I hope that these messages that Gracie shared today help you with your kitty. You've been listening to Fluent in Canine. Until next time.